Welcome back. All right, so I have not talked about the Rangers. Double checked. I haven't talked about the Rangers yet this offseason and what they've done. The Rangers largely are going to be looking to the same group of characters from this past few seasons to try to get over the hump in the playoffs. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. And so we'll see if it works for the Rangers this season. Their top nine is pretty good. You've got Chris Kreider, 82 games, 39 goals, 36 assists, 75 points for the Rangers this past season. Hey, a 40-goal season's not bad. Zibanejad, 81 games, 26 goals, 46 assists, 72 points. Sure, you might want another goal or two from Mika, but he had a good year. Lafreniere takes that next step, and I think this coming season he should continue to improve his point totals. 82 games, 28 goals, 29 assists for 57 points. Artemi Panarin finishes as close to 50 goals as he can without getting it. 82 games, 49 goals, 71 assists, 120 points. And towards the end of the season, you could see his teammates were trying to get him the puck to try to get him that 50th goal. Trocheck, 25 goals, 52 assists, 77 points in 82 games for him. Nobody's going to complain about Trocheck. Trocheck's excellent. And Riley Smith's been added from Pittsburgh. So that's the one change in the top six. 76 games, 13 goals, 27 assists, 40 points. Then you get down to Will Cooley, hardworking player, 13 goals, 8 assists, 21 points in 81 games. Philip Hedl only played 10 games this past season, had 6 assists. They need him healthy this coming season. And for Capo Caco, he needs to take that next step. 61 games, 13 goals, 6 assists, 19 points. But we've said that about Caco before. And so it feels like that's kind of a bit of a broken record at this point. So we'll shelve that and we'll move on to the blue line, where Ryan Lindgren, who just re-signed, 76 games, 3 goals, 14 assists, 17 points. Fox had himself a year. 76 games, 17 goals, 56 assists, 73 points. He might be underrated at this point in time. I know it depends on who you ask. Keandre Miller, 80 games, 8 goals, 22 assists, 30 points. And Trouba, 69 games, 3 goals, 19 assists, 22 points. He's still there, and we'll talk about that in a moment. In net, you've got Shesterkin, 36, 17, and 2 with a .913 save percentage. And Jonathan Quick, it made him just look younger playing for the Rangers this year. 18, 6, and 2 record, .911 save percentage. I think he had the best season he's had in the last 4 years. So, yeah, Quick has definitely got his game back, and totally understandable that he and Shesterkin will be the tandem for this coming season. Excited to see how it works. Now, when you look at the numbers in the regular season and the playoffs, the Rangers were good in both, but we'll talk about where things kind of fell apart for them. So their goals for per game, they were 7th in the regular season at 3.39 goals per game. In the playoffs, 2.94, which is 6th. Now, there is an asterisk, of course, in that this is 7th out of 32 teams. This is 6th out of 16 teams, so that's a little different. Their goals against got better. They went from 2.76 goals against per game, which was 7th overall in the NHL, to 2.63 goals against per game, but since it's the playoffs, that was 8th. The playoffs at times this past season, really hard to get shots that are going to be goals, hard to get those high danger opportunities. Every team's getting their defense better. We'll see how it affects this coming regular season. It absolutely could. Their power play, again, good throughout. 26.4% during the regular season, which was 3rd. 24% in the postseason, which was 5th. But again, there's more to talk about there. Had to pause for a sneeze. Penalty kill, 84.5% during the regular season, which was 3rd. In the playoffs, 84.2%, which again is 5th. Because in the postseason, power plays get shut down generally. Their cup odds right now, they show is tied for 8th in odds for a Stanley Cup win, along with Toronto. So the Rangers are kind of one of those teams that they look really good. They won the President's Trophy this past season. However, they haven't been able to get over the hump, and so that's going to affect how many people are willing to put money down on them being able to win next year. So 2018 and 2019, they didn't make the playoffs. And famously, 2017-2018, they basically told people, hey, we're going to retool. And they did. 2019-2020, they ended up back in the playoffs, kind of, in that they qualified until the qualifying round, where Carolina knocked them out in 3 straight. So that was a bit of a kick in the teeth. And then the following season, just playing in their own division, they didn't make the playoffs. And I'll restate what I stated in 2021. If the Rangers had been in any other division, I think they make the playoffs. The East was just stacked that year. 2021, 2022, they made it all the way to the conference final. They lost against Tampa Bay in 6. The following season, they get knocked out in the first round by New Jersey in 7, and what was just an absolutely fantastic series. And then this year, they get knocked out in 6 in the conference final by Florida. So the Rangers and Carolina both play in the Metro, and they're both top 2 in the Metro. They may very well be there again this year, and they both have similar reputations in the conference final they can get to, but they can't win when they get there. Now, the Rangers aren't getting swept like Carolina is, but it doesn't matter how many games it takes to win a series. If you win the series, you win the series, and if you lose the series, you lose the series. So one thing of note in the series against the Panthers was that power play went cold. They had one power play goal against the Panthers. They had 2 shorthanded goals. So shorthanded, they were more dangerous than they were on the power play. And against the Panthers, some key guys had their struggles. Panarin had a goal and 3 assists. Kreider had a goal and an assist. Zibanejad had 2 assists. Shesterkin did not struggle. He had a .930 save percentage. But when your team isn't able to score, every puck that goes in your net's going to get a little more attention, and that was the case with Igor, as at the other end, Bobrovsky was quite good as well. So Florida goes on and wins the Stanley Cup, and that is the first time they've lost against a team that went on to win the Stanley Cup on this part of the board anyways. And I'm just saying that because I didn't go back further than 2018. But this is a team that needs a run to the final. They absolutely do, because they don't have cap space. They have $623,476 in cap space. So they can't make additions. This is why Trouba, they wanted to move Trouba. So you've got Panarin, $11.64 million cap hit till 2026. No complaint about Panarin's cap hit at all when he's putting up 49 goals and 120 points. But when they need those goals in the playoffs and you get against those teams that are really physical and really tough to play against, Panarin's had his struggles fighting through those checks and getting to the net. Zibanejad, $8.5 million cap hit till 2030. Again, when Zibanejad's on during the regular season, that cap hit's justifiable. But when he only has 2 assists in a 6-game series against the Panthers, again, that doesn't make that contract look better. Heedle's on a contract that pays him, well, cap hit's $4.44 million until 2027. When Heedle's healthy and he's productive, totally worth it. He was not able to stay healthy this past season. So fingers crossed that Heedle will be fine and good to go and play all 82 games this season. On the blue line, you've got Fox at a $9.5 million cap hit till 2029. I have no problem with that cap hit, and I don't think there's a Rangers fan that does either. Adam Fox being below $10 million a year for what he does and for how consistent he is feels like that's a pretty good deal. But Trouba's $8 million cap hit until 2026 has not aged well. This is why the team would like to move the player. It sounds like they've given up on moving Trouba. It sounds like he's going to be a Ranger into this season coming up, 2024-2025, and then next summer he may end up being on the move. That $8 million cap hit, though, that's tough. Lindgren gets a $4.5 million cap hit. The team avoids arbitration with the player, but it means that Lindgren's an unrestricted free agent next summer. So it's a win right now to keep Lindgren, but it's a loss in that he can walk away next summer. So the Rangers may have an issue when it comes to keeping Lindgren around. I don't know, but they only signed him to a 1-year deal. He knows he's an unrestricted free agent next summer. We'll see how this year goes. Igor is up next summer too. $5.67 million cap hit this season. He at least doubles that is the speculation. I don't know if he's going to get $12 million. I don't know if a goalie can be worth $12 million on the cap, just being honest. Goaltenders can be very unpredictable, and for the reason of that volatility, I have a hard time seeing a goaltender at a $12 million cap hit. But could it happen? Yeah, it could happen. Absolutely likely will happen as the cap continues to go up, because when the cap goes up, GMs just spend all that money. So there are some upcoming players to keep an eye on. Brennan Othman has had cups of coffee with the Rangers at some point in time. They're going to have to give him a full-time chance. Gabe Perreault is out there as a player who, very, very talented first rounder, very likely going to be top 6 for this team sooner or later. And then there's Brett Berard, who was an undersized 134th overall draft pick in 2020, but he's generated enough buzz in Hartford that I felt like, I'll put him on the board because the effort's there. So while he's undersized, we'll see if he gets into some games this year. But the Rangers for this coming season are going to be relying on this core that, again, we talk a lot about Toronto and how they can't get over the hump and they're not good enough. The Rangers have got to the conference finals twice, but that's as far as they've gotten. And again, the question becomes, you've got Panarin for 2 more years. At that point, he either probably goes somewhere else, maybe he stays for less money, are you going to be able to win that cup over the next couple of years? I did adopt the Rangers back in, I want to say it was 2020, where I felt like, this team's going to win a Stanley Cup at some point. I still think the Rangers are going to win a Stanley Cup at some point soon, but they're going to have to do it over the next few years, or that window may close for them. So the question I have for people watching this video is simple. Do you believe the Rangers can win a Stanley Cup over the next few years? And if not, why not? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe in the event you've not done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.